Today is Mother's Day, and something that I always think about when thinking of my mother is codependence. I actually own her copy of Codependence No More, and over the past year, I think it was left out and something was spilled on it, and I ended up throwing it away. I thought it was funny then, just because that word, codependence, has haunted me my entire life. As all the women in our family suffered codependence and still suffer with codependence. But when we talk about codependence, we always talk about the relationships between others and how we put others ahead of our own needs. But something I realized this morning, I haven't been able to write in a little while. I kind of went away from that for a minute. I was putting way too much pressure on myself, and this was blocking the creative flow for me to write. But my daughter bought me a new journal with her money for Mother's Day, and that was very beautiful and inspiring, like always. And so yesterday I spent the day really just sitting in a state of non-judgment, observational, just taking everything in, trying to be in the present moment. And I think I needed more of that. And that's really why I've taken a hiatus from writing, because when we're in our heads all the time, it shows where the codependence comes from, how it's all linked. And when we can look at codependence from an inner struggle rather than an outer struggle, we actually learn that we do have some control. We start to understand what we do have control over, where our power is. Because when we're focused on the outside, like the relationship aspect of codependency, we still want to hyperfixate. It's much easier to hyperfixate on the other person and what we don't have control over in that relationship dynamic. And if we're consistently focused on their perceptions, their thoughts, their feelings, and are not in tune with the inner struggle that's going on within us, it can just keep the cycle moving, because it's just trying to show us where our power is. And so this morning I got up and I was writing about this, and I realized that the inner codependence is the struggle between the mind, heart, and body, which essentially leads to the soul. You can't really access the soul when we're operating from only one or two of these aspects. We need all three to access the soul. And I think in childhood, especially being raised by caregivers who are also not connected to their heart or operating from this inner codependence of the mind thinking that it can handle every pain, every disappointment, everything that the heart is meant to help us handle. The mind lies to us and tells us that the heart needs to be protected and that they got this. The mind's like, I got this. The heart doesn't even need to worry or concern itself. But what we've come to realize is that the heart does not, especially with the statistics in the world about heart, people dying from heart attacks or heart disease. It's a number one killer among humans. And I wonder why this is because the mind lies. The mind lies in this form of codependent dynamic, thinking that it has control over everything and it can protect the heart. But the heart's going to feel it, regardless of what the mind thinks it can and can't do. And the heart actually feels betrayed or abandoned by the mind because the mind doesn't have any faith or willingness to believe in the heart's capability to handle the pain. And I just thought of this as I was writing because I really believe that we need to work together. The mind, body, and heart specifically need to work together rather than trying to save the other one, which is another characteristic of codependency. One person thinking they can save the other, but essentially end up abandoning themselves. And nothing ever gets saved because it doesn't work that way. You can't shut one down and expect the other one to carry all the weight. Everyone has to carry their weight. Everyone has to be responsible for their actions and their feelings and their thoughts. The mind can't handle it alone, and the heart doesn't have to. It's really just making them understand that the heart is capable. Stop thinking it can save the heart. Allow the heart to feel the pain and support it through it. If we can do this inner work and start to understand the inner side of codependency, then it won't manifest outside of us in a way that makes us feel like we have no power or no control in our lives. To resolve the inner struggle of the mind, heart, and body and allow them to work together to process pain, and the environment and the suffering and whatever else we're meant to experience. Emotion in the heart that radiates through our body, that pushes energy, moves energy, renews energy, cleanses energy. The mind cannot do it alone. And the mind doesn't need to believe that it has to, because it hurts the mind as well to believe that it has to do it alone. The heart makes itself known, even when the mind thinks it's dealing with it alone. That's why we have so many humans projecting their pain onto other humans. When the mind and heart don't work together, the heart has to be heard. And this is how we end up hurting others with our pain. It starts with the mind lying to us and saying, I got this. You don't need to worry about it. Because the heart's there left like, well, what do I do with it then? I don't know how. I need your help. What do I do with this? And it just runs rampant in the body, creating disease. Creating disease and discomfort, and just it's terrifying and paralyzing. That's why the body stays in survival mode. That's why it's in fight or flight, because it doesn't have any guidance from the mind. The mind keeps telling him not to worry about it. The mind keeps saying, I got this. But the mind doesn't have it. And the heart knows that. The heart can feel that. And then it comes out in behaviors. Because without the mind, without the consciousness, without the awareness, it's just recreating cycles that mimic the war inside, the inner codependency. Heal that and heal your relationships. Thank you for listening. Happy Mother's Day. I'm just sitting in my garden with my pretty trees and my sunflowers and my raspberries. This tree right here is absolutely amazing. It's a willow, a peach willow. I have no idea how it got here, but I love it. Always be kind to yourself. It's okay to observe your nervous system in fight or flight. It's okay to understand a behavior that was created to keep you safe. But it's not true, and it's not necessary. So sit with it. Be kind to it. Validate it. Understand that it's your nervous system in fear. That your body and your heart won't be able to handle the pain. But it will. You just have to give it a chance. And stop allowing your mind to tell you that it can do it alone. Because it cannot. It cannot. And it only makes the heart feel invalidated and insignificant. Which essentially blocks the soul completely. And you can feel deeply with your heart and believe in its ability to handle the pain, the soul awakens. the soul feels alive, because without it, it feels abandoned. And us as humans deserve that whole body, mind, soul experience in order to enjoy this life at all. So that's why I'm sharing this. I've been in a state of fog for several days, and I'm grateful for this clarity. I'm grateful for nature, and I'm grateful for love. Have a wonderful day.